Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rebecca. I make videos on how believing in Jesus and walking in the Spirit is transforming my way of life and how it's reflecting in my day-to-day life as a Christian woman, especially as a Christian mom. In this video, I would like to share why I decided to become a stay-at-home mom and how God's timing played a perfect role in all this. My journey from being a working mom to becoming a stay at home mom first started 2 years back in 2022. At that time, my toddler was 1 year old and I was working in a remote role, so I was working from home and taking care of the toddler all by myself during the day. And that gave me a lot of stress, and I would not recommend that to anyone. So during that time, I thought I should stop working and take up some freelancing options so that I'll have the flexibility to take care of my child as well as work. But it was very hard for me to just make a decision to quit the job. But with a lot of thinking and writing down pros and cons and with a lot of prayer, I decided that I would not request my company to renew my contract. But during that time, just before my contract was going to end, my manager called me and he told me that they would be extending my contract and they already sent the papers to my contracting company and that they would be proceeding with it. At that time, I thought, okay, let me just go ahead with this. I'll just work for 1 month and then let them know that I would not be continuing. But God had a very different plan from mine. Within a month, I think 2 weeks or so, they called me to offer me a full time position in the company. I was definitely not expecting that. So at that time, my parents, they told me that I can continue with the work and that they would come to stay with us to help us out. So it all worked well and I continued in my job, knowing very well that God's plan was very different from mine and that the full-time position was truly a blessing from God. It was a very mind-boggling situation for me. There I was thinking I would quit my job so that I can take care of my child as well as I can work some freelancing work so that I'll have the flexibility. But God's plan was much, much higher than mine. Not only He provided me with a full-time position, but He also provided me a way to take care of my child and also work. Cut to 2023 when I got to know that I was pregnant with my second child. At that time, I knew very strongly that I would not be repeating the working full time and taking care of the baby situation all over again. So I wanted to start a side hustle, a small business, so that I will be able to earn an income from it as well as have the flexibility to take care of my child. Even this plan was not according to God's will at that time. Because when I was actually working on to set up my own business, one day I got a notification saying that my H1B visa application was picked, and that means I would be able to work and earn only from my employer and I will not be able to do any other work. That definitely disappointed me so much. At that time, I definitely did not understand why God would not let any of my plans succeed. Later, my second baby was born, and my parents also came over to take care of me and the baby during my postpartum. I still did not have a plan on what I would be doing when my parents leave for India. I did a lot of thinking, praying, and also worrying because my desire to be with my children was growing and the fear of missing out on their initial years was very heavy on me. And this time I was kind of seeing some signs from God that my season of working is ending and that a new season is beginning. But I kept second guessing everything. In June, I started back working after my maternity leave, and somehow previously I decided that I would be giving my 2 week notice by the end of June. At this point, although I was sensing that God is directing me towards becoming a stay at home mom and be present with my children full time, I did not have a solid confirmation. You know, that one solid confirmation that you get from God, and all the other confusions and fears and anxieties, everything just roll away and fills you with confidence and peace to step forward. That wasn't there. And without that solid confirmation from God, I did not want to go ahead, especially because previously I've experienced how God has blessed me with the job and how He has blessed and increased me in the job. And then when I tried to leave the job, how He provided me everything for it and how He led me through everything by His grace. What if I'm just going against God's will? What if it's just my desire and it's not God's will for me to do this? I thought about a lot of what ifs when I was thinking about becoming a stay at home mom, but everything failed before my desire to become a stay at home mom for my children and to be present with them, to take care of them, and to enjoy those early years of their lives. But the what if of rejecting God's blessing and His will for my life was very concerning to me. Until one day, as I was nursing my baby, I was praying to God to strengthen me and my husband so that we would be able to go ahead with my decision to become a stay at home mom if it is His will. That's when God spoke to me through Ephesians 3:16. I pray that out of His glorious riches He may strengthen you with power through His Spirit in your inner being. This verse had everything I really wanted in that moment. It silenced everything that was going on in my head and filled me with His peace. Not only that, but that night my dad sent me a message asking me to study Ephesians 3:16 as it was a powerful prayer. It was like a double confirmation for me that it was God's will that I should go ahead with my decision to become a stay-at-home mom. On the last day of June, I gave my 2-week notice, and today I sit here as a stay-at-home mom, very, very grateful to God that He has given me this opportunity to be with my children and to enjoy these early years of their lives. In hindsight, I can definitely see the consequences that I would have faced if only I left my job initially when my firstborn was one. And also why, when I wanted to set up my own business so that one day I would be able to take care of my children, fell through. When it's God's time, everything falls into place and we'll have the peace that we would never be able to have otherwise. Knowing that it is God's will and that God will take care of everything has filled me with peace, and that peace, I can assure you, I would not have had it if only it was my own decision and not God's will. Being with children full time is not a bed of roses. It is very challenging at times, but the joy of just being there with them, being present with them, without having to rush them all the time is just so precious. Of course, it comes with a lot of sacrifices, but we know that we are sacrificing some things for the joy that cannot be traded. The peace and calmness I've been experiencing after becoming a stay at home mom is just so unimaginable for me, because I've always been a girl who advocated for girls to be financially independent even after marriage. Even when I was trying to set up my own business or trying to get into freelancing, my motive was to earn an income. But now, in God's timing, my priorities are different. My priority of taking care of the children is a lot higher than me having to earn an income. If you are in the same place as I was, not just regarding a job decision, but just anything that's weighing really heavy on you, I want you to be encouraged knowing that God has a plan for you and that He will take care of you. You need to seek Him more than anything, because there is nothing in anything apart from God. Even that anything is something that you really desire and want to have for yourself. Nothing is worth anything apart from God, because you won't have the real life in you without having God.